WinDailySports.com. It is the Bet Like Mike show. How's everyone doing? Happy Monday. Good vibes only during this. No bad. We're not going to talk about bad things, right, Mike North? We're not going to talk about what
I got to stop you. I mean, even before the show starts. I mean, it's like when you the first time you have sex, you're blowing your load before the show even starts. Here comes the girl. She takes her dress off. You almost have a heart attack. And you're asking for Kleenex. Enough. You can't. You gotta let things. You gotta think. Let it build up. You don't start singing. You can rehearse and stuff, but we don't do
right. You don't do the full song.
I don't play that crap. But here's what I do. We'll get to your 76ers. I did this purposely because you're still a youngster. You're still young. Compared to me, everybody's young. Okay. Lincoln said to me the other day, "You're looking peaked." I'm just saying, look, you just gotta say to yourself, I'm going to let the kids settle in. We'll talk about the U.S. Open, which I was fortunate enough to have a winner. I have this philosophy that what I do is on a Sunday, and I won the last time I won this was like a month and a half ago with Justin Thomas. What I do is, and especially for the majors, is I'll spend a C note on 6 golfers, a C note on each golfer. So yesterday, I take the top 10 golfers and I see who's involved. And I ended up taking Rahm at plus $1,100. So you'd win 1,100 on 100. I took that kid. I'm sorry I even took him. The Canadian kid. He had 3 kids with him.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You got your kid. Hey, tell the wife or whoever, get a nanny. I know you may not have all the money in the world. You can't be toting 2 or 3 kids around 2 hours before the tournament starts. That's just me. But I had 6 golfers, including Scheffler, who went off at 2,500 in case he comes back out of nowhere. But I take 6 guys. It's the guys I kept off that wanted for me. I kept off Morikawa. I kept off Koepka. I kept off Oosthuizen because I wouldn't make the 600 back. He was plus 350. So what I end up doing is I take 6 guys. I took that kid, the kid that was leading all weekend. He didn't come through. He was plus 700. Who was that kid? I can't even remember his name.
Was it Matthew Wolf? I don't know if you mentioned him.
No, not Matthew Wolf. I didn't take him either. He says he suffers from depression. I'm not riding with the guy that suffers from depression. He's getting it taken care of. But you know what? Maybe he's got these little things. He gets a little gun shy. He gets stage fright and all that stuff. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to take him either. So Henley. It was Henley, the kid that led the first 2 days. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is the first time you're hearing his name. I think
you
were
in
76er land and no attention at all to what
the only golfer I know is Jon Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau. Rahm won and DeChambeau couldn't hit anything.
Well, I had DeChambeau against Rory, and I felt good the first 10 holes, and then all of a sudden he turns into thin cup.
I
mean, he loses his water. Lost his water, didn't know what he was doing. So that was bad. But I end up winning before Rahm with 2 of the clutchest putts ever. I think he's the best player in golf. I thought that before yesterday. Here's a guy that should have won the Memorial. And, Dan Hicks, who keeps saying, well, he's had a temper and his much talked about that. Nobody handled getting suspended because of COVID and losing $1.6 million better than this guy did. He had no temper. He comes across as a great guy. Is he competitive? Yeah. But get off the temper tantrum stuff. He doesn't do that. And you're allowed to get mad. Tiger used to get mad. Tiger would throw his club. So knock the crap off that this kid has got to be the perfect guy, that he's got to be Bubba Watson, who gets run over now because he doesn't give a damn as much as he used to, I don't think. He won his 2 Masters. He's got his money. He's got his priorities. Bottom line is, Jon Rahm made 2 of the greatest putts, and it was the strongest leaderboard, one of the strongest top 3 leaderboard I've ever seen in all the years I've been watching golf since the early 60s, John.
Yeah, and Rahm, maybe not as talented of a golfer, I would say, as DeChambeau. Rahm's very talented, but it's, in golf, it's that one thing that Tiger had. It's being able to come up in these round 4s, these Sundays, and to just be absolutely your best in the biggest moments of the tournament. And John Rahm has an uncanny ability to do that. I mean, uncanny. It's incredible how he was able to come up with those, like you just said, 2 great putts, but in the biggest moment of the tournament. While Bryson DeChambeau couldn't hit a fairway to save his life, he's by beer boxes that people have left around. I mean, this guy was awful, and it was all in his head. Bryson DeChambeau was all in his head, Dory.
Absolutely, but they were all awful. Like I said, it was one of the strongest leaderboards, but it was one of the strongest collapses from Rory, from DeChambeau. I can name them all. I can go through and waste all the time in the world.
Well, yeah, I guess eventually the course is hard, and so I guess eventually did eat him alive,
And they did eat him alive. I never saw that many guys. Hughes got his ass kicked. I mean, they all just played like crap in the last night, and that's been even with the PGA with Matsuyama. They all collapsed against Phil. They all collapsed. So the nerves get to these young guys, and it was just a tremendous tournament, I think, for golf. I mean, it's
another good one. Yeah, another great weekend for golf.
Well, really, you know what? I got to tell you something. The thing that is the key to golf is it's an individual going against everybody else. The top golfers were involved. There's no politics. There's no banners hanging. There's no lectures during commercials telling us how we should be and what we got to do to improve ourselves as human beings. Are you people serious? And golf is reaping all the benefits from this. I'm telling everybody now. That doesn't mean that I still don't watch the other sports. I love them all. I watch baseball. I watch the NBA. I watch hockey, although during this Stanley Cup, I've hardly watched any hockey at all.
Yeah, it's been weird. I too. I haven't really watched too much hockey playoffs.
No, and I had been watching hockey the last 2-3 years, but just the odds are just astronomical. In order for me to watch hockey, I have to bet hockey, folks. Yeah. In order for me to watch golf, I have to bet golf. And the thing that's really opened up for golf is the matchups. Okay.
Yes. And Cena Judd, WinDailySports.com, loves them, bets them all the time. Yeah.
DeChambeau collapses. Rory beats him after DeChambeau acts like a petulant child, loses his cool, plays only one way, tries to bully the course. Okay. And stuff like that. And then I had Neiman against somebody, and I pushed against Adam Scott for the one day. So I think it was Neiman. I can't even remember anymore. I've been betting so much. I watch golf from 8 o'clock all the way to like 7 o'clock.
Love it.
I mean, I didn't bet baseball yesterday. I did bet the Clippers.
Did you?
Getting 4. They lose by 6. So I bet them, but I made it up by what winning with Rahm. So what I do is I bet the 100 for 6 golfers. I won, so I spent 600. He wins 1,100. And I'm not saying I just bet 100. It was between 1 and 5, but that's $500 profit. And anybody that tells you now, they're starting to show some of these betting services and some of these people, some of them who I love. Oh, our Phoenix Suns future bet. Okay, let's see the other 10 future bets you bought. Okay,
right.
Because they act like they just bought one. Just like the other night. The Nets lost. 65 to 70% of the people had the Nets. How many Nets losing tickets did you see on Twitter saying, hey, we bet the Nets, but we lost?
Probably.
Nobody. But if the Nets would have won,
I think
Big Bet Joe, Tommy 2 times. These are my bets. I had the Nets. I won. But where are Big Bet Joe and the rest of these guys when the Nets lose to list their tickets?
I need nicknames like Tommy 2 times. That's. I need a good nickname like that. But yeah, no, I think
Johnny J bets the Nets. He tells people that. But people go, that's admirable. Where are the rest of the people on social media going, I was stupid, I bet the Nets? Just like I just said, I bet the Clips and lost.
Yeah, and it is the futures market. It is, you're putting in a few bets and you're only going to catch one. But the thing you have to do about the futures market and the best, just get the best price out of these, teams. Get the Nets at whatever the best price was. Phoenix Suns at the best price. Like if somebody has a Phoenix Suns ticket and they got it like now or a couple weeks ago, really is that worth anything? Did you really get it at the best value? So that's where the futures market
just go shopping on my just go shopping on Prop Swap, folks. We're going to get off this topic, okay?
Yeah.
Congrats to John Rahm. Oh, let's go now to the 76ers. You want to trade Ben Simmons to the Bulls? I'll take him. I'll take him right now. You want to trade a defensive player of the year who Doc Rivers decided if he gets picked, you'll just switch. All series long. All series long. Now, Simmons sucked offensively. I don't care if he ever takes a three for me. I've already said I can make him a 70% free throw shooter. They'd have to pay me $1 million. I'll spend 3 months with him, Monday through Friday. We get Saturday and Sunday off, 3 hours a day. Next year, you're a 70% free throw shooter. Can't promise more, can't promise less. Bottom line is this. He's the defensive player of the year. And Doc Rivers, who's the worst coach you could have, apparently, when it comes to big games. Now we're finding out
it's following him everywhere. Yeah.
Throwing him under the bus, Ben Simmons, when other guys on that team, Tobias Harris, making $30-some million, going 6 for 24 or 8 for 24. There's a lot of guys. Now, Ben deserves his criticism, but I'll take him on the Bulls. Maybe I'd even trade Levine for him. Then you have all the scoring, but you'd have no defense. So now you're good. You're in the same spot, but you'd have a more reliable score.
Well, that's what the Sixers need. Yeah. I think, and I know Ben is getting picked apart for the series. And look, he deserves it.
Doc Rivers didn't help by throwing him under the bus.
No. Doc Rivers, he had a horrible coaching job.
They should fire Doc Rivers, and if they want to trade Ben Simmons, go. But Doc Rivers from the Clippers, he won 1 championship, and that team with Pierce and Garnett was super.
Well, and even just if you want to individually look at this season with the Sixers, like that was an embarrassment. You can't lose that series against the Hawks. There's consequences to that. And to me,
that's right.
I mean, Ben Simmons, great defensively, but unfortunately, they don't need that, right? They are already a good enough defensive team. He obviously makes them an elite level and very good.
He makes them good too.
Right, and he's very, but they need a score. They need a score in the absolute worst way.
Doc's son-in-law, the one
Seth
good
is
thing
good,
Doc,
but Seth
did a good job.
Yeah, he did. He absolutely did, and he was tremendous all series long. And that was one thing. I know Seth got in a little bit of foul trouble, but for Doc to take him out for most of the third quarter was absolutely egregious. Your best shooter and one of your best players in the entire series, and you take him out for an extended period of time is absolutely egregious.
And he played Simmons. Right. Wait, don't blame Simmons when you played him 36 minutes.
Yeah.
You played him 36 minutes. So you're the guy that's controlling the strings. To me, and by the way, I had said this on this show, you got to go to somebody else in the fourth quarter. So they win the last game by doing just exactly what I had suggested, along with, I wasn't the only one. It's time to switch up Simmons. But I got to be honest with you. Simmons is going to take the bulk of this, but Doc Rivers is one of the worst big game coaches who's ever lived.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case.
Bar that one championship, which is jaded things.
Yeah. That's absolutely the case. But the Sixers just need scoring, and they need to find it. And if that means trading Ben Simmons away, and they have to. I mean, this fan base has turned so far against Ben Simmons that it's to the point where I don't see any way he plays for them next season.
Well, then trade him. You trade him to somewhere. You'll get somebody good back for him,
right?
And then somebody will have a good.
That's the crazy thing. There are a lot of people that think he wouldn't get value in the trade market. This guy's still an all-star. Yes, the floor is really bad. You would get value for a guy that's 25. Yeah, exactly. The guy's still 25 and an all-star. You know, it's not like he's completely worthless.
I'll take him on the Bulls. And you know what? Change the culture a little bit. And you know what? Fine. But he'll have a different coach. He'll have Billy Donovan. Okay, maybe the change will do him good.
A change of scenery could help him out. You know, it could get his mind right.
Exactly right. Get him out of there. He's done. He's basically done. He's been Trubisky. Only Trubisky produced more. You know what I mean? But he's been Trubisky where the media turns on you, the fans turn on you, and then the next thing you know, you draft a guy like Justin Fields and you got Andy Dalton. So remember, in my opinion, it's going to make the Bears worse. You can get worse if you trade Ben Simmons. It could blow up in your face.
Right. You got to do it for the right move. And that's why it's a little tough because the Sixers do at this point have to get rid of him, but you can't get rid of him for nothing. You just can't. You cannot get rid of it because that guy is still a 25-year-old all-star NBA player, and you can't get rid of that for nothing.
I do agree, though. If you need him to score, you're in trouble, and he's got to get better. He's got to.
That's unfortunately what the Sixers need from him, and it's not going to happen, and it's a shame.
why won't people take me seriously on this free throw thing? I can make him a 70% shooter. He's got to hear about this.
I'll
Jen.
call Daryl Morey and see if you can work your magic, we might be good.
You're the voice of Philadelphia. I mean, what the
I
hell's
am?
the matter with you?
I don't know.
You were the
about that.
voice of Philadelphia. You get yourself on the Gambler.
Are you sure
start
they want me
telling
as the
people,
voice of Philly? I don't know.
Hey, you're on the damn radio. Start saying your partner wants to help you guys out. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, you know, you have trouble reading, you bring in a tutor. You know, speaking of that, real quick, the NCAA scholarships would be good for my family if I had kids. You want a scholarship, fine. But if you want to start paying these guys, giving them computers that they already have, I mean, the University of Kentucky, they have cottages for their players, but apparently this is not enough. So they're going to start. The Supreme Court ruled that there's certain things that can be taken care of. That's fine with me. All I'm going to say is get ready for the fraud. Get ready. They'll say, oh, I had a computer already. I had a new computer given to me. I sold it for $300. Oh, I got money in my pocket, but it was from the sale. I'm just telling everybody, college sports, and I just read on Twitter from Philly Godfather, where women's basketball lost $2.8 million in the tournament last year, while men's basketball made $835 million. So now what do you do about that disparity? Okay? Apparently that's why they had the sparse weight room. You know what I mean? I don't know what you do about that, but female sports, if you're going to start giving computers away, you're going to have a money-making losing proposition, especially in the NCAA.
Well, the NCAA has plenty of money. I think what needs to happen is these players need to be able to make money off of their image and like that is the big thing for me. I mean, everybody else in college.
How are you going to control it? How if a player's got 10,000 on him, you could say, "Well, I made 10 appearances, I saved it," but some street agent really gave it to him. How do you keep track of that?
Well, I mean, you have to keep track of it, I guess, some way, but you know, it becomes a little lawless. Like, sure, but it's a lot better than not having this.
John, nobody ever went to see a Duke player unless he was really, really good. I hear these players say they come to see us play. No, we go to see Duke play. Once you leave, Duke is a monster. Same with all these other.
But again,
Villanova, people go to see him. They don't go to see JoJo, who's a freshman, okay, who might be a sensation. They're paying to see Jay Wright in the Villanova banner.
Right, but there are, and I mean, we saw when, you know, jerseys, when they were able to do all this stuff. I mean, people buy the jerseys. People like these players. Players should be able to make money when they can off of that. If they want to go have an autograph session and get paid for it, they should be able to. Because my thing is, if I went to college, I could get paid for doing, you know, a YouTube channel and monetizing it. I can get paid for that. NCAA athletes can't. That's ridiculous. If they can make money off of YouTube, let them do it. If that's what they want to do.
So
like, I don't get why we're restricting that.
Does the $200,000 free education mean anything to you, or is that just crap money that, you know?
Oh, no, it's fine. But again, if
my father would have said if somebody was going to give us a $200,000 scholarship for my brother or me or my two brothers because we didn't have any money, my father would have said, oh, by the way, for autographs, we want $20 a picture. I mean, there comes a point.
But if you can, you should be able to. I think the restrictions vary.
Then maybe
you
should cut down on the scholarship money, and they could pay for it out of their hall from their big autograph sessions.
And you can do that, but I think then you run into the problem where you can, but then you'll run into the problem with
the head of the NCAA.
I mean, you can, but then I think players will start going elsewhere. You know, I think the NCAA is going to find out that
the $200,000 scholarship isn't enough. You can make money off the autograph session. We're only going to give you $100,000, and you can go the first 2 years because you're going to leave probably early anyway because we're giving you a free exhibition to go to the NBA. So we'll see what happens. You know what? It's only been ruled on. But I do agree. There's some colleges that got to step up. But I knew a kid that went to Texas Tech. I knew a kid that went to Kentucky. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? They live like kings. Anyway, let's talk about our picks, my friend, because we're getting short on time here.
We are.
A little bit longer. I just got one game tonight, and it's the San Diego Padres. Playing the LA Dodgers. I'm going to take San Diego minus the 25, my friend, minus the 125 with Hugh Darvish on the mound.
Yeah, I like that one too. I'd take the Padres. I'll go with a different one as well.
Okay.
I think and these two teams are going in different directions here, and maybe it'll change. I'm not sure, but Jay Happ's a bad pitcher, and if I'm getting Tyler Mahle at a somewhat solid price, I'm going to take that. So I'm going to take the Reds on the money line here.
Sounds good. That sounds good. I got one more. I got Baltimore plus 142. Just take the money line plus the 1.5 against the red hot Houston Astros, who just kicked the crap out of my Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, not gonna lie, it's a very scarce slate for today. So not really too much.
If you only got one, that's good, Johnny.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with that one. And just be on my Twitter account at JJansen34. Might be able to pick another, but yeah, I'm with you. I think the only ones I really like are the Padres and the Reds today.
Remember, folks, Johnny J, Johnny Jansen, Mikey N. Well, not really. Pappy, Mike North. I'll take a look around. We've enjoyed the fastest 20 minutes in sports. We've gone a little bit over 20 minutes and 22 seconds. Bye, everybody.